We are in chapter 17 of the unveiling of Jesus Christ. And one from among the 7 messengers who have the 7 bowls came, and he speaks with me, saying, Hither I shall be showing you the sentence of the great prostitute, who is sitting on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth commit prostitution, and those dwelling on the earth are made drunk with the wine of her prostitution. And he carries me away in spirit into a wilderness, and I perceived a woman sitting on a scarlet wild beast, replete with names of blasphemy, and having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was clothed with purple and scarlet, and gilded with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, brimming with abominations and the uncleanness of the prostitution of her in the earth. And on her forehead is written a name: Secret, Babylon the Great, the mother of the prostitutes and the abominations of the earth. And I perceived the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the witnesses of Jesus. And I marvel at perceiving her. The marvel is great. Just as the earthquake was said to be prodigious and great, and the calamity is great, and God repeats it, and the calamity is great, we know something is up here when John, perceiving the marvel, marvels, and the marvel is great. The word is repeated in the same context. This is significant. It means pay attention, because John is seeing something so shocking that he can scarcely write it down. He's appalled. He's shocked. Marvel is a light word, but it's repeated twice, so it carries the weight of shocked. That's my interpretation of it. That was the first 6 verses of the Unveiling 17. Verse 7, And the messenger said to me, Wherefore do you marvel? I shall be declaring to you the secret of the woman and of the wild beast, which is bearing her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. This is what the unveiling is. It's an unveiling. And I shall be declaring to you the secret. This is not Mystery Babylon. Mystery is a bad translation. A mystery is something, and the King James says mystery, and most of the translations say mystery. A mystery is something you'll probably never understand. You may never understand a mystery. A secret is something that you don't know until it's revealed. Then it's no longer a secret. And I shall be declaring to you the secret of the woman and of the wild beast. And in this, we're going to be getting lessons on the use of the metaphor. But before we do, let's go back. The 7 messengers who have the 7 bowls, they're the ones that came and spoke with John, saying, Hither I shall be showing you the sentence of the great prostitute. We're looking at the end of this matter. We're looking at the destruction of this beast, this combination of beast and of a dissolute woman or a prostitute. There's an illicit joining of 2 entities, the wild beast and the prostitute. And the wild beast is beguiling the entire earth, but the prostitute is riding the wild beast and using the wild beast to further her lusts and passions. I like the fact that we're being shown the sentence and shown the end, because when this wild beast begins to form, we will already know the end of it, and we will not panic. We will not be distraught, despairing. We may see, and we are seeing, I believe, the beginnings of the formation of this wild beast. I'm not worried about it. Not in the least. Because we're not only seeing the end of the wild beast here, but we're seeing by the time we're done with the unveiling, we're going to be seeing the end of God's plans. Israel's going to come into the kingdom. And not only that, but we have Paul's letters, so we see to the end of the Aeonian times that at the consummation, God will be all and in all. So what do we have to worry about? It's a brief flicker in history, this formation of Babylon. And while the world is going to be totally immersed in it, we're going to so be able to look past it if we're even here at the formation of it. I know we're not going to be here when it starts wreaking its worst, but I don't think we're even going to be here when it's introduced, inaugurated. We may see the beginning of the building of Babylon. In a way, we already have. There's a U.S. presence, military presence, in Babylon, or in the place where Babylon was, on the site of Babylon. So this city is not being ignored, not even by the captains, the magnates, and the principals of this current wicked eon. And the messenger carries John away in spirit into a wilderness, and I perceive a woman. Now this is what John perceives. He's seeing it, just like all these other visions. Within the vision, he's seeing things, and these things are being explained to him. Now, the prostitute, let's go back a little bit. We're being shown the sentence of the great prostitute who is sitting on many waters. Waters, I've told you before, are illustrative of the world kingdoms. Waters picture humanity. And by that, am I eliminating the fact that there are literal waters on the earth? No. Because I know how to keep the literal and to then extrapolate into the figurative without demolishing the literal. So the waters signify peoples, and the prostitute is sitting on many waters. The prostitute owns the peoples. And boy, can I say this? Why not? I'm taking the literal. A prostitute is sitting, and I hear rumors that when, let's just say that men tend to be overcome by, careful, Zender, by the nearness, this is entertaining, I'm sure, of the essence of the fortitude and the influence, the bodily influence of a prostitute, when the prostitute is in a seated position. Whew, I broke a sweat. That's the literal. And the literal is being used here for a reason. The prostitute is sitting for a reason. The world is becoming drunk in this state for a reason, because they are overcome by the powerful essence of everything this woman is, and the center of her universe, if you catch my drift. So the center of the universe is Jerusalem. No, I take that back. Jerusalem is the center of the earth, geographically. Not really far from Jerusalem is Babylon, but it's just off a little bit, isn't it? Perfect. Jerusalem is the literal geographic center of the earth. So Babylon is a little ways off, still in the Middle East, but a little ways off. How perfect. A little bit off-center, kind of like the earth is tilted at a 27-degree angle. How perfect is that? I think it's pretty nifty. So the peoples likewise worshiping at Babel. There's another appropriate term, worship. Remember, we're in the temple section. All these things are great analogies. Great analogies. You need to know what a prostitute is, and you need to know what a temple is. And it helps to know what a temple prostitute is. A temple prostitute used her charms, her strength, her power, the seat of her essence, to intoxicate the sons of humanity, who then were so overcome, so influenced, so made inebriated, that they joined to the deity that the particular prostitute was selling. And the prostitute herself did not necessarily embrace the deity that she was selling. She was there to lure worshipers. And it worked. Can you imagine combining church with sex? Everybody loves church, except me. Everybody loves sex. And can you imagine combining church and sex? That's what the temple prostitution business did. Combined church with sex into one heinous mix, but albeit pleasurable. And the men probably paid to go in there. Paid to be in bondage. So, John gets the analogy. We forget the literal and we jump onto the figurative and we lose our minds. Let's not do that. So the prostitute is sitting on many waters with whom the kings of the earth commit prostitution. Oh, yes, they do. Because the kings of the earth are intoxicated by the prostitute. They lose their minds. I'm thinking now of King Herod, who, because the daughter of Herodias danced for him, became so intoxicated, so lost his ever-loving mind that he promised her the half of his kingdom. If she would just be his little baby. And she asked for the head of John the Baptist. And he, at that point, came to his senses, but it was too late. He had already been overcome by, I don't know, what was it? Her hips? I think she did everything that an exotic dancer does. I think she put her essence inches from his organs of perception. And I think he was overcome. And I think this is exactly what is happening with Babylon. And we're already seeing it. We're already seeing the world becoming intoxicated by pleasure. And this is at the hands of Israel. May I say Jews? Okay, can I? All right, I just did. I got away with it. I'm not anti-Semitic. I love Jews. I love blacks. I love Asian people. I even love white people. I love Greeks. And but yet I can still call something what it is and acknowledge it, and by it come to an education concerning it. And he carries me away in spirit into a wilderness. Clears his mind. I mean, he was already on the island of Patmos, John was. You think his mind would be cleared enough, but no. He needs his mind more cleared. So even in the vision, he goes to a wilderness. Even in the vision that he's receiving on a rocky island in the middle of the Aegean Sea or somewhere out there in Greece, he goes to a wilderness. And he perceived a woman sitting on a scarlet wild beast. Oh my God. She is freaking intoxicating the kings who make up the wild beast. And this is what the Jews are doing. They're intoxicating the world. They're holding out money and they're holding out power because they own money and power. More on that to come when we talk about the cup of Babylon. It's part of the secret of Babylon. It really is. And the woman was clothed with purple and scarlet and gilded with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, brimming with abominations. John's seeing this. And tomorrow I'm going to show you the explanation of these things. And I'm going to regress a little bit to insist to you that we not explain God's explanations, because that will lead us nowhere but into Babylon itself, which is confusion. We're not here for confusion. We're here for revelation, because this is the unveiling. This is not the hiding. This is not the fogging of. This is not the making unintelligible of Jesus Christ. This is the unveiling of Jesus Christ. And we're coming to revelation, not confusion. We're coming to revelation, not confusion. Folks, that's the name of the book.